Hi there. Today I wanted to go over a few main components of the syllabus. I know at this point you have already read this on your own, but I wanted to point out a few things, explain them a little bit further, and mostly I wanted to connect those things to the final grade rubric. So this is your course syllabus. I always start with a letter, and in it I mean what I say. So, I want this class to help you develop healthy writing habits for college and beyond, and I want you to tailor the work to meet your own goals. So keep that in mind as I even review some of these assignments. So on page 2, we have our clickable links that take you to anything you need to know about the course. So what I really want to focus on today, I want to focus on the type of assignments we'll be doing and how they will be graded. So let's go there. All right, so we are going to have essentially 3 different types of assignments for this particular course. Writing to Learn weekly work is something that you'll do each week. This consists of things like discussion board posts and responses, smaller weekly assignments that maybe help you build towards the larger writing assignments. Those might be either turned into D2L Dropbox or again posted on the discussion board. You're also going to be asked to do power drafts and reflections. And reflections will probably count towards that weekly writing work that you'll be doing. But the power drafts are essentially the drafts that you are going to get feedback on from me. So these are drafts that I'm kind of playing on the word, you've powered through them. But they're not first drafts. They're definitely drafts that maybe you've gotten feedback from the Writing Center or a friend or a classmate. You've gone through the drafting phase. You've worked on revision and maybe a light round of editing before you turn it in. So you'll write those. You'll turn them into the Dropbox along with a reflection, and the reflection, of course, will help me help you. It's a way for you to tell me how you feel about the project, where you are with it, like what you're struggling with, what you feel like you're doing well, so that I know how to best help you when I'm giving you the feedback. All of those power drafts are going to be turned in again at the end of the semester in our final writing portfolio. So the final writing portfolio that you can see on the screen here is going to include our main writing assignments for the semester. The first piece of writing that we're going to be doing is a learning to fail narrative. So it's going to be a narrative essay. And it is going to be where we're going to read about the growth mindset and the benefit of failure. And I know that sounds a little bit odd, but I think it's a wonderful thing to be contemplating, especially if this is your first semester of college, is thinking about how we can use our life experiences to better ourselves. So we'll be writing about that. We're also going to do an organization review and a cover letter. So this is where you will take a look at an organization that you would like to work for. I do leave a lot of wiggle room with this. So let's just say you're planning to go to pharmacy school and you'd rather review a pharmacy school instead. I'm totally okay with that. So just remember the flexibility there. And then you're going to compose a cover letter to the organization from your future self. And again, I'm flexible with that option as well. The whole point essentially is to with the cover letter, learn to write about yourself and be a very careful editor, and to figure out how to explain who you are and why you're so great in a short space. Cover letters can be difficult to write because of those things. The organization review also will help you look at something through a critical lens and express that really clearly through your writing. We'll also write a convince us argument. So this will be really fun because you guys are going to get to choose something that you think is really great and try to convince the rest of the class to give it a try. So maybe there's a certain movie you feel like we should watch, or maybe you want us to start using a specific product. You get to choose, and you're going to work to convince us, and we'll share that with the class. This is also going to serve as our bridge to your next writing course, which is English 1020, Research and Argumentative Writing. So I think it'll be nice to end the semester on that. And so all of these will be turned in as power drafts, and you will get feedback from me. And at the end of the semester, you will put it all together with a portfolio cover letter where you're going to write to me and describe and evaluate your own writing progress. And so then you'll put in the portfolio all of your power drafts with the feedback along with your revised version. All right, just a quick reminder that the Writing Center is there to help you. And I've also got some more tips for you as far as making sure you are successful with your assignments. The other thing I want to cover is how will you be graded this semester? So basically, you're going to grade your own work for the entire course based on this portfolio grade rubric, along with it's really just a final grade rubric. So it includes your writing to learn assignments, your power draft assignments, and it's going to include your portfolio as a whole. So we'll take a look at that final grade rubric in just a second, but I would say it's really important for you to know this rubric now because you want to make sure you know all of the criteria so that if there's a specific grade that you want to achieve and you want to propose, you want to be able to do that. So the final grade rubric is going to be your best friend at the beginning of the course so that you can be successful in the way that you envision success. All right, final grade possibilities for the course. I just wanted to do a quick reminder that you have to receive a C- or above to pass this course. That is university and departmental policy, so it's not my plan. It's what's required by the university. So we don't have a D final grade, and that means that if you don't meet the criteria for A to C-, then you will either receive an F, an FA, or an N, and that depends on your circumstance. The N grade is unique to just a couple of courses at MTSU. It means no credit, non-punitive. You may receive that grade only once, and basically it should be, it's a safety net for you. It should make you feel really confident that you will pass this course, hopefully, because if you're turning in all the work and you're just not quite ready to move on to English 1020, as long as you're meeting all the policies for the course, you're turning all the work in, you've completed, at least for us, the attendance policy is going to be half of your writing to learn grades, then you get this N grade, and it doesn't affect your GPA, although it does affect it counts towards your attempted hours, so keep that in mind, but it keeps you from, you can avoid that F grade. So really those F grades are people who disappear and they're not turning in the work. So that hopefully will be good for you to hear and give you a boost of confidence. All right, let's take a look then at the final grade rubric. This is a draft, and I wrote that on there just so you could see it in case anything changes between now and then. Let me make this a little bit fit into our screen. All right, so you can see it's broken down into 3 different points of criteria for your final grade. So it starts with the writing to learn, moves to power drafts, your actual final portfolio with all those revised power drafts in there, and this is these are the criteria for each particular letter grade. So just to make sure you understand what's going on here, everything is broken down on a 1 to 4 scale just to make it consistent. The first criteria is writing to learn and opportunities to learn. So I'm asking you, did you complete all the opportunities to learn for the week? So did you do the readings that were required? Did you watch the videos that were required? And did you complete and turn in the right to learn assignments thoroughly and on time? Usually with the first criteria, students are going to be a 1 or a 4, to be honest with you. Maybe a 3 thrown in there every once in a while. Maybe you accidentally, misread the assignment or something like that. So hopefully that will be the case, that you'll get a lot of 4s here. So for each week, I've only listed the right to learn assignments, but I do want you to consider any of the opportunities to learn that were assigned to you as well. And I would suggest also that you keep up with this as the semester goes on. It's going to be a lot of legwork for you at the end of the semester to go back and have to go, okay, did I complete the discussion board and did I do it on time for week 1? That'll take a lot of work. So go ahead and fill this out with a 1 to 4 for each week that you have, and just make sure you've done everything here and everything included in the opportunities to learn. If you have a reason that you want to discuss with me, that maybe something went a little bit wrong on a particular week, please make sure you use the notes and reflections to discuss that and to write that explanation. The second criteria are power drafts. Again, this is really about doing full drafts, completing them on time, and they're really ready for feedback. So you have 3 main projects for the course. Again, you would label this on a scale of 1 to 4. 4 is going to mean that you've completed the full power draft and reflection. It's done, it's on time, it's ready to go, ready for feedback. All the way down to maybe you turned it in a few days late for a 3. Maybe you turned it in 1 to 2 weeks late, that's a 2. And then a 1 is going to be where either it's not full or complete, or it's above, it's more than 2 weeks late. And hopefully you won't have to deal with that. Again, there's a place for some explanations. Criteria 3 is your final portfolio rubric. And again, on a scale of 1 to 4, this is where you will consider if you included a thorough, polished portfolio cover letter that takes a look at your ability to address your areas of growth, strengths, weaknesses, and theories of writing, considering everything you've done for the semester. You're also, again, going to include the power draft and revision for projects 1, 2, and 3. And I want to emphasize with this that you're going to make sure that you spend all the rest of the semester from the time you turn in the power draft and you get the feedback till the end revising these pieces. So you've got plenty of time to do that. And in fact, it's really great and highly recommended that you do take some time away from the project. So step away from it and come back to it periodically. You'll see things that you were just not able to see before because you were so close to the writing. And then finally, you're going to take a look at your ability to generate content that's in depth overall during the semester, your ability to organize, your command of style, like your word choice, your sentence variety, and then your command of editing in your projects. Once you've marked all of those right here, you will take a look at the final grades. To propose an A, for example, you have to have at least 12 weeks of Right to Learns listed as 4s. You've got to have your power drafts, at least 2 of those 4s, so 2 listed as excellent, no 1s. And most portfolio ratings are 4s. I think it's important that we don't say all, because you're probably not being honest about your writing if you gave yourself all 4s. I wouldn't give myself all 4s either. I always have things to work on, so I want you to have some openness here, to be honest. Same thing for a B. You can take a look. 10 weeks of Right to Learns, very similar criteria for the power drafts, and pretty similar criteria for the portfolio 3s and above. For a C, at least 7 weeks of Right to Learn, so that's a really important number to take a look at. No more than one on the power drafts, and most of your portfolio ratings are at 2 or above. You can use the plus or minus designations as needed to show variation. So for example, maybe your portfolio is really strong and you gave yourself mostly 4s, but maybe you just struggled with getting your Right to Learns done. I would say that would be a good reason to propose a B+. You did really well in your portfolio, but you were a little weaker on just maybe you had 1 too many of those lower grades for the Right to Learns that you did. So just keep that in mind. If you don't meet that criteria, I will designate your final grade as an F, FA, or N. So here in this box is where you don't need to do any numbers, just a letter grade, and you can use the space below as needed if you feel like you need to further discuss or explain your grade. So you'll propose that. I'll take a look at what you filled out here. I'll take a look at your final portfolio. I'll read through all of your drafts again, especially those revised versions, and hopefully I will approve your final grade for the course. I know that's a little bit different, but again, I think this will be a really great way for you to spend the semester focus more on improving your writing and less on the numbers. Let me know if you have any questions.